Hello, everybody. Welcome again. This is Z, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about if it is still alive, the possibility of you achieving the American dream. So, let's get into it. So, coming from outside the country, right? I'm an immigrant. Right now, I'm a student. I think there's a lot of speculation if the American dream is still alive, if there's still a possibility of you becoming financially successful and put your family in a different stage from where you came from, right? And since I came to the United States, I saw that a lot of the people around here have like very low uh, belief into the system. They believe that American dream is over. There's no possibility for someone that is under to get to high points. I mean, to become very successful. And by saying that, I don't mean everyone, right? I mean, there's a vast majority of people that believes that, but there's also that minority, 1 or 2%, that manage to just go through past those ideas and get there anyways, right? So let me just give you a perspective as an outsider. When I came to the United States, everything seemed more tangible, more reachable than where I came from. Example, let me give example. Portugal. Portugal, in comparison to the United States, the possibility of you becoming successful coming from low standards, it's almost nearly zero when you compare it to the United States. Is it possible? Yes, it is, but it's 10 times harder. Especially because if you want to open a business in Portugal or another country in Europe and you want to grow that business to become very big in terms of uh, reaching the broad of Europe, there's so much regulations, there's so much barriers in the way that you'll end up facing fees, legal problems. They'll say, is it worth doing it? While in the United States, you just pay an LLC, have a good idea, have a good business strategy, be very mindful with money and how to spend it, and you may make it. You have to work really hard. Yes, you will have to work really hard. But people don't have that idea. They think, oh, it's dead. I think those people that think it's dead is because they haven't been outside the United States. Again, Portugal. Why Portugal? Because I lived in Portugal for a long time, so I kind of have an idea of how things rolls around there. Next year, they just announced they're gonna increase the minimum wage. The minimum wage right now is about 850 euros. It's almost 1-to-1 ratio, so let's say in dollars, right? So some of you can understand. $850 right now, and next year is going to be $875. I went to Portugal last year, and I couldn't understand some things because after COVID, the rent prices skyrocketed. And one thing in Portugal that is different from the United States is if you do not have a college degree, you better have a very successful family, outrageous contact for you to become successful, or you have to be that one unicorn, basically. While in the United States, you don't have to have a degree to be a high income earner. Well, this is a reality in Portugal. If you don't have a degree, the vast majority of people, I'm saying like about 80 or more percent of the population will make around just a little bit over the minimum wage. They'll make around $1,000, $1,200, give and take, if you don't have a degree, right? And the minimum wage is, let's assume the minimum wage for next year is $875. But guess how much is the rent in Portugal right now for a one bedroom, not in the fanciest place, in a one bedroom apartment, no garage, in a random place, right? Right now, it's averaging $700 to $800. $700 to $800 for one bedroom apartment. If you're making $1,200 as a person that doesn't have a degree, Let's calculate your expense really fast. You spent $750 on rent. You have to go to work. You have to get there somewhere. There's a lot of transportation in Portugal. If you get, let's say, the minimum of the minimum, right? You get like a $50 train ticket that gives you like a full month. Use like a rechargeable card. You pay it every month and it lets you go everywhere within the major city, right? That will bump you to $800 right now. You have to eat. Food import in Portugal since COVID also increased a lot, right? Let's say you spend on the low end $300 on food. Right there already, you are on $1,100 on expense that you need, things that you need, and you're just left with $100. If you have a car, which most of the Portuguese people actually buy used car because there's no money to go around, and you buy used car, you may have like a monthly payment of probably $100. Your paycheck is gone. So where are you gonna have that money to put in a savings account? Where are you gonna have the money to put in an emergency fund? Where are you gonna have the money to invest on a high yield account? You don't have the money. So it makes it much harder for someone that is under to get up anywhere else that I have lived, like Portugal, than it is here. Even with college degrees, sometimes it's very hard. I'm here, I'm a college student here. I'm on F1 visa, and I'm an engineer intern right now. And I can make quite a bit for engineer intern. So I went to Portugal last year to see my mom and to renovate some documentation. And I went to the gym and I saw some of my old classmates, right? And they all went to college before me because I was so broke. I ended up joining the military because I didn't have money. My mom is a single mom and so on and so forth, right? Not very relevant. So I didn't have the money, so I went to the military. I didn't went to the college, so I would have to make the money to pay for the college. They all went to college before me, and they thought that I was dumb because they went to college and I didn't. So I went to the gym, and I said, "Oh man, how are you doing? Long time I haven't seen you." They asked how I'm doing. They said, "Oh, you're still in the military, right?" They're like kind of put. I said, "No, now I'm studying in the United States. I'm a civil engineer student, and so on and so forth. I'm just here for a break, and so on and so forth." They were just Some of them were good friends back then, and they were giving some breakdown. And then I happened to ask them how much, if they were willing to answer, how much like they as an engineer with a degree makes in Portugal. And one of them is an engineer actually, and he said, "Oh man, I've been working for quite a while since I graduated, and I'm still making $2,500." So I said, "Oh, even if you put like their expenses, you make $2,500, you pay $800 for a single bedroom, and that there's an idea of people that go to college in Portugal, they have to have a new car because they have to show you engineer, you have to show that you have something, you have a car, probably have a car, you're paying like $300 in car, and you pay $300-400 in food, and you're left with a little bit of money. And even with a college degree, you barely can save some money, you barely can invest some money. So if you don't have like a huge connection in some of those countries that are not United States, it's very hard to get out of the bottom. While in the United States, you don't have to have a degree. You just have to be able to work hard. That's why they say, oh, immigrants come here to the United States and they do 10 times harder than Americans. Yes, because the Americans, not everybody, I'm not putting that on everybody, but I see a lot of Americans, they disbelieve in their own country. They believe that, oh, I cannot make it. American dream is over. But there's a lot of immigrants that come and work 10 times as hard and manage to do it. And they say, oh, that could have been you and me, right? So it is still there. Are we willing to work as hard as we can to achieve what we want? That's the question. So is it possible? I think it's very much possible. I see myself working really hard here and getting way more out of my work than I was getting out there. I would work as hard, but I wouldn't progress as much as I do now. And I still a college student, take intern, and I'm an international student, and we barely can work. They don't allow us to work anywhere, anytime, however we want, because we may infringe the contract of the F1 visa and they may send you back and so on and so forth, right? Thankfully, now Trump is probably going to try to pass the law that once you finish college and you want to stay in the United States, they'll offer you a green card, which I think is a good idea because students that come here put the work, especially coming from out of country, the amount of money you pay in college is absurd amount of money in their own currency, right? And people overlook those things. And they speak English because for you to be in a college in the United States, you have to speak a certain level of English. You get to know the culture, you're affiliated, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a strategy that just makes sense. Going back, I think the possibility is very much still there. American dream still there. It's for those that are willing to sacrifice and work really hard. The people that say, "Oh, it's better in other countries. They have healthcare. Their healthcare is better. Their school system is better." I would advise those people, if it is better, just go there and see how you would like it. Yes, it is better that if you make an American money and you go live there, yes, you're making way above the the average income there, so you will live the high life. But if you have to work there and live there, you will not want to be there. You will say, you know what, let me go back to my America because things were much better over here. One more thing that people don't understand is, example, some countries in Europe, the health care and all those kind of things that people think, oh, it's for free. Once you get your 63 years old, the government will retire you and you have like a pension and so on and so forth. Yes, you will. The pension usually is less than your salary, but you get it till you die. Um, However, that will cost you 50, sometimes in some country in Europe, 60% in taxes on your income. Meaning that, example, you're making $1,000 a month, you're giving the government 600, and you're staying with $400. That's the cost of having uh, basically free healthcare, basically a pension once you retire. Yes, the government will take care of you. So if it is good for you, if that's what a lot of people think is better for them life, I was like, yes, there's a lot of countries in Europe that would like to take you uh, into their system. But I think if you want to achieve more, it's readily easy to do it in the United States. The American dream is still very much alive. It's maybe for those who want, right? Things don't come easy. If everything was easy, who would give value to it? If everybody could become a millionaire wouldn't be anything, right? There's a lot of countries that you, currency wise, you may have a million of their currency, but everybody can achieve that because a million in their currency sometimes is like what, $10,000 here. Who gives a value? Everybody can achieve it. So it's, if everybody can achieve it, is it worth getting there? It's kind of like, you know, everybody wants it to be easy and fast. Will it be worth if it is easy and fast? Because everybody can achieve it, and if everybody can achieve it, you have to have a different standard, a step up, which is the hard level, right? And that's what I think people are afraid of, is that hard work, that sacrifice that is needed to get to certain things, right? Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave in the comment your thoughts, what you think. You may disagree with me. Leave in a comment too. Maybe I'll see your point, and I'll see you next time.